Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm Adrianette, as you know. Welcome to Cooking on Camera with Adrianette. I see one of my favorite babies ever, Lorenzo. Hi, baby Lorenzo. So he is officially our youngest chef that's going to be cooking with us today. So I'm happy to see him. Hi, everyone else. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to give everyone a few more minutes to get in. What I would ask everyone to do first is to take your salmon out of the refrigerator. If you don't have it out yet, to let it reach room temperature. And if anyone, just as a matter of housekeeping, if anyone has any questions, please put your questions in the chat. Hi, Deborah. If you have questions,
wait, I can't hear you. Wait.
And if everyone can mute themselves, I have different views of myself. So I have three things going. So you'll see me move around the kitchen. But if you have questions, please put them in the chat. And if everyone can get their salmon out, I have mine here. This is it. I bought 3 pounds just because I'm going to be eating this for the week. So I'm just going to take this out here, let it reach room temperature. And I guess we can start. I wanted to give people a few more minutes because we had over 50 people signed up, and right now we have 14. We'll wait one more minute and then we will get going.
Yes, I want to talk to you, everybody, for a second. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, no, I'm excited. Hi. I'm excited.
Yay!
I see all of your stuff on Facebook, Instagram, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat. Okay, hi, everybody. Okay, I'll go on mute and stop talking.
No, it's okay.
I'm really excited too, so there you go.
Yay!
I saw that the minute I saw the menu, I was so excited because usually a lot of the cooking classes do meat, and I don't eat meat, but I do eat fish. So I was so excited about salmon. I couldn't wait. So I'm very excited. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. I'm glad.
Plus, it's good to do something fun.
Well, right. That's the thing. Like all of the programs we've had and conversations we've had for the Racial Justice Committee it's heavy, racial justice, racial inequity, social unrest, death, all of these things, oppression, they're really heavy issues. And so I thought it would be nice to do something a little bit lighter and fun. And it's, approaching holiday times and everyone always wants to eat. So
yeah, we need to try to cook.
We will get started. So again, my name's Adrianette. I am the co-founder, co-chair of the Racial Justice Committee. Tonight, we will be cooking on camera with me. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please put them in the chat. And the first thing I have asked everyone to do is to take their salmon out of the refrigerator just so it can get to room temperature. So there's that. All right, so order. I will be showing how to prepare and cut the Brazilian greens, which are called couve, first. And we're gonna do the greens, and then we will prepare our fish. Then we will make our riced cauliflower. You don't have to have cauliflower rice. I gave directions for if someone wanted to use any sort of white rice, brown rice, what have you. I'm just using cauliflower rice because I'm trying to keep my calories low so that by the time the holidays get here, I'm not rolling around. So another hack, another tweak, to the cauliflower rice. If you are going to be using cauliflower and not white rice, and I should have done this, but I didn't realize it until yesterday. It tastes better if you only use 1 teaspoon of turmeric with the cauliflower rice as opposed to 2 teaspoons of turmeric. So if you are going to use the actual starch, you can keep the recipe the same for the yellow rice. But if you're using cauliflower rice, I found it to be a bit strong if you use 2 teaspoons of turmeric. Hi, Jessica. All right, so with that in mind, we're going to start with the Afro-Brazilian greens. So what I've done already is clean them out, rinse them, and I have them in a colander. And I'm gonna show you guys how to cut them the proper way. And I'm just gonna give a little bit of history in terms of why I chose this. So collard greens are something that are super famous with amongst the African American community. People eat them many different ways. A lot of ways they're made for African American soul food are with meat. People use smoked turkey, smoked ham hocks, what have you. When I was studying in Brazil to get my master's in Latin American studies, and even before that, I got super interested in Brazil, Afro-Brazil, food, everything Brazil. I was super into it. And one of my friends, who I love very much, Marina, we went to graduate school at UCLA to get her master's in planning. She'll attest to the fact that I lost my mind over Brazil. Anyway, when I spent the summer in Brazil on a FLAS scholarship, I learned how to make a lot of Afro-Brazilian food. And so one of the things that we have here are the Brazilian greens. And so if you've been to a churrascaria, any sort of Brazilian restaurant, you probably have seen these greens. And I love them because, as Marcella said earlier, not everyone eats meat. And so greens are really great, but they don't have to have a lot of meat, right? Because a lot of times the meats that we add to things just really give us lots of calories. And if you're watching your calories, that's not really gonna help you. So I have put these greens in leaves like this. I don't know if everyone has done this, but what you should do is, so the stems have been trimmed and it's just like a big leaf right now. So you can just take a few of these here. I have 5 here. So we're gonna start like this, and I'm gonna put the camera down so you can see me roll them and cut them. All right, so I'm gonna roll these like they're a burrito, cigar, what have you, anything that's like a tube, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like here. So roll them so you get this sort of shape. Can everyone see this? Okay, so you just roll them, and then you start to cut them. I'm gonna show you guys. All right, so it doesn't really matter what end you start cutting the greens from, but the point is to get them super thin. So that's one of the things that I love about the Afro-Brazilian greens. So when I say super thin, I'm going probably, and I'm not the best at length, I'm probably going maybe 1/4 of an inch or 1/3 of an inch. So I'm just gonna slice them in just a forward motion, just like this. And let me show you guys. They're this thin. So I'm just gonna go and do that with the rest of my collard green wrap. Just make sure that whenever you slice them as thin as you can, and take care for your precious fingers not to cut. So when I learned how to make these, I literally lived with a Brazilian family, and after my classes, I would come home every day and watch our lady. I guess she was a cook, and she was an empregada, which basically means she was like cleaning and cooking and doing all that. Her name was Lena, and I used to watch her cook everything. So I absorbed a lot of knowledge, and because I like food and culture, I was just super impressed by her ability to cook. And actually, my host mother had a party for her daughter, and her sister actually came over. She made a feijoada, which is I believe it's the national dish of Brazil, which is a black bean stew. But whenever they make this feijoada, they have like parties and things. And so they made these greens on the side. So let me show you guys what mine look like. The thin, I guess the size of them. Can people see that? I'm gonna say yes.
Mine
Okay.
are too thick, but oh well.
It's okay. They wilt down. And so I have a few of these left over, and I actually cut a lot in preparation for this, but I'm gonna roll up another batch just so people can see how the roll up process works. Put this back here. So again, you just take the leaves, just roll them up, and then we start chopping. I guess it's not even really chopping. I'm guessing it's just slicing since we're cutting them so thin. Okay. So if you end up having some pieces that are a little bit too thick, you can just always just cut them across just to thin them down. All right. So I went a little bit crazy at the grocery store and I bought all these greens because I like them and I wanted to meal prep. So I put the greens that I chopped earlier into this bowl so you guys can see the amount, because as you're aware, the greens always wilt down. So let me know whenever people are done chopping and when we can start cooking. Hi, Lorenzo. We see you. Hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
How are you today? We're happy to have you cooking with us.
Thank you. I'm cooking apple pie.
Oh yeah, we also have apple pie. We're not dieting.
Ooh, ooh la la. I bet you it's delicious.
Mommy, where's apple pie?
It's right there. See it? Right by Daddy.
I'll mute myself again. He just needed to be heard.
Hi. Hi.
All right. I'll give a little primer on the garlic, which we're going to use. So what I've done is I've taken it upon myself to mince garlic. I put it in this little container here. But one of my favorite tools for mincing garlic is this. A garlic press. I bought it, I think, at Smart and Final. I don't think I spent more than $20, but it really helps. So if anyone has your garlic press, you want to get that out and use that if you can see it, just so you can help save time. Because I also like to save time whenever I cook.
I have one, but my husband always hides it because he doesn't like garlic, so I can't find it right now.
It's okay. Do people know how to mince garlic without a garlic press? Or should I give a little tutorial on that?
I think I do, but I always am open to learning more.
Okay, well, I will give a tutorial while everyone cuts their greens. So here is our bulb of garlic. And so I just peel the pieces off, and I'm just gonna do one. Actually, I can do two. Then you just wanna peel it. I use a smaller knife to take the paper or the skin off of the garlic. I always just start here at the bottom. And I don't know if that's the proper technique because I'm not like a trained chef. I just do things in the house. So you just remove the paper any way you can. All right, so we got that paper off of one. Then I'm taking the paper off of the second one. All righty. So the first thing I like to do if I'm doing this by hand and not with my press is take a knife. I like to use this size knife whenever I'm making things. You just smash the garlic, the back of your hand, to flatten it. So now you have a flattened piece of garlic. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to flatten the other one. And then I just cut it across. Can you guys see that or no?
I can.
That's better. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I just start using the knife to just sort of bring it down in size. And then you want to, garlic and things that have a lot of water get stuck on the side of the knife. So while I'm kind of midway through it, I always wipe it off and then I just chop up the other parts. And now, if you're someone who likes your garlic to be really small, one thing I learned from one of my favorite chefs, Mario Batali, he will take a little bit of sea salt, put it on top of the garlic. He'll also take a little bit of oil. And I have this Pam olive oil cooking spray here. Just gonna put like two or three sprays on top. Then you take the blade of the knife here and you can just lay it flat and kind of cream the garlic to make it a little bit smaller. So you can try that as well. And as you do that, I mean, I don't know who loves garlic as much as I do, but the smell is great whenever you do it this way. And you just sort of kind of like make a little paste with it. And then now we have homemade minced garlic. So this is what it looks like, if you guys can see. All right. So how is everyone doing with cutting their greens? Are we ready to cook the greens yet, or do we need more time? David Sackman has his thumbs up. Okay. Anyone else? Marina? Marcella? Wait a minute. Okay. Well, oh, there's somebody that said something in the chat. Let me check it and see. Oh, yes. Raw collard greens for wraps. Yep. I think it's good too.
Okay. I'm so glad I asked you to tell me how you cut your how you mince your garlic.
Oh, well,
I didn't. Okay, y'all don't laugh at me.
we're not laughing.
Do that smash part. So it's
Oh, okay.
easier. Yeah, it's so much easier when you
Isn't it? And so what I'm doing, and you can do this too, like you just take the side of the blade of the knife and you just smash it down also. And remember, I put a little bit of sea salt and a little bit of olive oil on it, and then it makes it into like a paste that's a lot easier to sort of work with and smooth down. So it really just depends on the texture that you would like your garlic to be in your food. I mean, I love garlic, so I'll eat pieces of garlic for me, but some people don't always, they may like the flavor, but they may not like the texture. So it really just depends on who you're cooking for and sort of what their preference is. Oh, let me see. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Oh, oops, 1 second. All right, are we ready, Marcella? Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do is, I have my other laptop over there on the side so you'll be able to see. But whenever I get to the part where I want you to see over the pot, I'm going to put it on my cell phone. So we have our garlic and we have our cut greens. So I'm going to head over to the stove. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm using this size pot just because the greens are there. I have a lot of greens, but I like using a bigger pot because the greens will wilt. So I'm going to take this, putting the stove on.
Hey, Adrianette, can you switch your cameras so we can?
Oh, yes. Sure. So do you want me to close this one?
Yeah, or at least mute this one and turn the volume down and then use the other one.
Okay. How is that? Okay. Thank you guys. Sorry about that.
There is
Okay,
an echo though, so can you turn down the volume on the other one?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks, Adrianette.
No problem. Sorry. I'm not the most tech savvy person. All right, how's that, you guys? Better?
There's still
Okay.
a little echo, so I would just check the volume, make sure it's not on your phone.
Oh, it is on my phone probably. Let me just move the phone over. Or I can exit the phone until I need it.
You can mute the other one and only keep the sound on your phone. What about that?
Oh, okay. Let's try. All right, how's that? Better? Okay.
Great. Yeah, sounds good.
Great. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so I have the pan on medium heat. I'm going to flip the video around. Let me see. What am I doing? How do I turn this around? Where is, oh, the video is not on, that's why. Okay, so here we have the pan. I have it on a medium. So what I'm going to do first is put some olive oil in there. So we can use 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So here's the olive oil that I have. It's just the California Olive Ranch, nothing fancy. I'm gonna put the 2 tablespoons of olive oil in here. And you can also use less olive oil if you like. I like just to put 2, but it's really a preference sort of thing. Okay, so we have the olive oil in there. And now I'm going to add in my garlic. And as I indicated in the notes, I love garlic. And I think I probably said that at least twice already. So I put, this is probably more than the 10 to 15 that I suggested, but that's just because I love garlic. So I'm gonna put this in here. Okay. Now, let me get this. Okay. All right, so here we are. You can see the garlic, you can see the olive oil. And so I don't know if everyone is using a gas or an electric one, an electric stove, but sometimes what happens and what I've learned through over time is that if you heat your garlic too high, it can burn and become bitter. And I've actually made these where I was overzealous with the heat. So I'm going to actually bring the heat down a little bit, probably to still medium, but on the lower side of medium. And the point is just to cook the garlic down for maybe 2 minutes, just so it becomes really fragrant before we add the greens in here. Put this down. All right, so now we're just letting this cook and hang out. Does anyone have any questions or anything? Well, I guess that's a no. That's good.
Just more stories about your former cooking life. I didn't know that you had this experience.
I'll say, I'm sorry, Jessica, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I just was saying I didn't know you had traveled the world with all this cooking experience. So
Oh, well, you know what? It's like, I feel like I go places where they have food that I like. So then I get excited to eat the food at the place. So, but I have yet to do like an actual trip just to cook. And I actually would love to do that. That would be super duper fun. There was a show that came out. It was on PBS. It highlighted food from Spain. It had Mario Batali, Gwyneth Paltrow, Mark Bittman. I think it was called Spain, One Plate at a Time. And I remember I was just like, oh my God, I have to go to Spain because I have to eat and cook and do all these things. And then actually was able to go to Spain like a few summers after the book came out. And I ate my way all the way through Barcelona for sure, and Sevilla. So
Well, and I just saw Maya Rudolph now has Eater tied in or whatever. She's got a show where it sounds like she does exactly your dream.
oh wow, how fun. Okay, just gonna
Did we add in the greens now?
yes, but just make sure that it's fragrant. I don't know if you guys can see when garlic starts to cook. I think it starts to puff up a little bit, and I'm sure my camera's not zoomed in, but just as long as it's cooked a little bit, you don't want to put them in there while the garlic is just raw. And also, I keep turning it with the spoon because you don't want the garlic to burn, because when it burns, it gets bitter. So, and that's not, it just tastes, it's not my favorite thing when it is bitter. All right. But yes, I think we can add the greens in. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put these over here. Let's see. I made a whole bunch. So the technique is this. So I'm going to put these in here and then I'm going to stir them up. And what you want to do is, and I didn't specify an amount for salt because again, it's really up to you and what you like. But what I'm going to do is put some greens in, stir them, add a little bit of sea salt, and then stir it, and then put greens in, add the sea salt and stir. Because you want everything to be coated evenly with the garlic and with the olive oil and with the salt. So I have this big thing of greens. It's probably double what I suggested in the recipe. So I'll probably end up using maybe a teaspoon of salt. And so with salt, I tend to, I like a lot of flavor, but if I'm cooking or when I cook, I usually try to undersalt so that food is not salty, because I've made food that was too salty in the past. And then I was sad because once it's overly salty, I feel like it's kind of ruined. So it's better to kind of add less than add too much. Okay. So now my pot is kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a third of the way full. And I have this pink sea salt. I think I just bought this at Costco, and I'm just going to put a little bit on top here. And then I'm going to just stir it. And at this point, you are totally fine to increase your temperature a little bit. Since the greens are in there, they will be cooking, not just the garlic. So I would put your temperature up. Maybe I have mine here like on a, where is this? Oh no, it's that one. Kind of like on a mid-medium. I'm just going to stir this down. And you cook these, you know, I'm sure you guys all have sauteed spinach. I'll sort of add it in there, let it cook down a little bit, let it wilt, and then I'll add the next round. And as you can see, this is reducing pretty fast. This is pretty evenly, has the garlic and the olive oil and the salt pretty evenly distributed. So I'm going to go ahead and add my next batch of these things. Let's put them in the pan. And then I'm going to add a little bit more salt. And I have sea salt, but you can use any salt that you like. I just like the way sea salt tastes. I'm just going to mix these up here.
Do you add any other seasonings?
Not to this, no. But I don't, but you can. I mean, I like spicy things sometimes, so sometimes I will add like some red chili pepper flakes. But you know, for this traditionally they just put salt and olive oil and garlic in it. But again, it's really up to you and you know what taste you feel like having. I was just so impressed with these when I learned how to, not only when I learned how to make them, but when I started eating them. There was a place actually, Marina, you remember this place. I think it was called Pampa Grill. It was across the way from your apartment when we were at UCLA, Marina. There was a pay by weight Brazilian steakhouse, and I would go there often, and I think that might have been the first time I tasted these greens. But then whenever I learned how to make them, and I learned that they didn't take as long as the greens that my family would make over the holidays and things, I was like, oh my God, wow. Because whenever I make Southern greens with the meats, they take, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours to cook, something like that. I made some Easter weekend and it took forever. All right, so now you guys can see that the greens have reduced. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my next batch. And that's sort of the process for this. You just sort of cook them down, let them wilt, put more in, and then add more salt. But again, the salt is really up to you and how, what you prefer. But under salting is always better than over salting, because again, once it's over salted, it's done. Check the chat. Oh, we have chat messages. Sorry, I missed those. Okay. Oh, thank you for the tip, Teresa. The initial smash of the garlic with the paper on. I've actually never tried that, but I will try that next time. That will save me a step. Thank you.
And you don't get your fingers all stinky.
Yeah, I've just come to accept that I'm just gonna smell like garlic, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But perhaps if it wasn't the pandemic, I would be more concerned with my smell.
I'm like you. I love the garlic, way over garlic things.
Yeah, I do. Oh, Marina, you said you like the smelly fingers? Yes. Okay, so these are pretty wilted down. I'm gonna add the next batch. And how's everyone doing with their greens wilting and the salt and all of that?
Good. I made a smaller batch, so mine are done. They're good.
Oh, good. Yay. Did you tasted them already?
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
I might do these for Thanksgiving instead of the traditional ones that take a lot longer.
Yeah, I mean, these are good. I really like them. And like you said, they take a lot less time. And they have a lot of flavor too. To me, I think I like them. So, and you save calories because you're not putting, if you don't put a lot of oil, you're saving calories from the meats. So let me add my salt here. Uh-oh, some of my greens escaped the pan and they went into the bowl. Rogue greens. Okay, so you guys can see I started with this big bowl and now I probably have half of a pan of these, or half of a pot, I'm sorry. So they cook down so much. So these actually will be done pretty soon. I think in the recipe I put to saute them for 5 minutes, but they've been sauteing. Well, the first round I put in there have been sauteing longer than that. So they will be cooked soon. I don't want to overcook these. I know that I have overcooked them if there's a lot of water in the bottom of the pot. And right now there's a little bit of moisture, but it's not, they're not watery. So probably going to turn the pot off momentarily. Just want to make sure that the oil and the garlic and the salt is evenly distributed here. This is an arm workout. I forgot how arm intensive this was. There we go. I think I'm burning calories just while cooking, you guys. I wonder if Fitness Pal will recognize that.
At least a good excuse to be able to eat more.
Right. Okay, so these are done, and this is just, I'm just gonna show what done looks like to me. So it's wilted. It still has a little bit of texture to it, and I'm gonna turn this off because I don't want it to be overly done or overly watering. So there you have it, you all. There is cuvee. I'm gonna put the phone down and I'm going to get to the next thing. Actually, let me see if I can bring this. I guess I can bring it here. All right. Put that there. All right. So next we have, oh, this is so cool. I'm looking at the phone while I do the other thing. Next we're going to get to our blackened salmon. So actually I'm going to put this over here while we create our seasonings. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. I'm going to keep the volume off of this one. So let me get this stuff out of the way. Okay, so our salmon has been hanging out and it's 6:08, so it's actually probably been out for half an hour. We're going to make our Creole seasoning for the salmon. People eat a lot of blackened things. I actually made blackened catfish yesterday with this same Creole seasoning down in New Orleans. And if anyone loves food, New Orleans is a great place to go. Food is amazing there. When I went the first time, well, actually the only time I went for a conference, and again, I ate my way through the city and it was awesome. And I didn't feel bad about it either because I knew that it was just going to be good. So the first thing we're going to do, if everyone has a little dish, you want to get your small dish. And it can be a Tupperware, what have you. This one's kind of wet. I'm going to put my 2 teaspoons of onion powder in here. So this is just some random McCormick onion powder. Just 2 teaspoons of that. Okay, now we have 1 tablespoon.
I thought I had onion powder. What would you recommend?
Say it again.
I thought I had onion powder. What would you recommend I substitute?
Well, you know I love garlic, so I'll just say go with garlic.
Okay, I'll do garlic powder.
Go with garlic. All right, and so we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of paprika. And just so people know, 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. So I'm just gonna use the same one. And I love this paprika. It just smells amazing. This came, I think this is from maybe Sprouts, Spice Hunter. It just smells so good. And I probably do over paprika food just because I really like it. So we're gonna add that. Next, we're going to add our cayenne. And I know it's 1 tablespoon, but it's actually not overly spicy, but I do like spice. So if you don't like a lot of spice, I would just do 1 teaspoon of this. But if you do like spice, it's not gonna be overly hot though. You can put the tablespoon in here. And next, we're going to add thyme. And I love, 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 love thyme. It's used in a lot of different foods. It's actually used in a lot of Caribbean cooking as well. I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of dried thyme. Okay. And next we're gonna go to oregano, which I also really love. And that's 1 teaspoon of oregano. Okay. And I'm going to add in a teaspoon of sea salt. So let me go get my salt. All right. One thing I forgot to mention was, actually we can wait, but I'm actually gonna turn my oven on to 400 so that once we flip our salmon over, the oven will be heated. And I'm using this skillet here. This is a grill pan and I love it. I use it for a lot of meats. And it has a metal handle, so it's fine for you to start something on the stove and then put it in the oven because it has a metal handle. So if you have that kind of pan, that's what you want to use for this. I should have said that or specified that in the directions, so I apologize in advance. I'm also going to turn my pan on just because we want it to get hot before we put our salmon in it. So I'm going to take a fork that I have here, and this, just so you guys can see, this is what the spices look like before they've been mixed. So you can just see this way. I'm going to use this fork just to mix them up before I start to season the salmon. Let's see if there's chats here. Let me check. Okay. Has everyone already mixed their seasoning? Is Creole seasoning ready? Yes, no? I'm going to take that as a yes. All right. So here's the salmon in this bowl that I have here. It's already been dried. What I'm going to do is put the seasoning on top of the salmon and put it liberally. So again, it's really up to your preference on how seasoned you want your salmon to be. I like a lot of seasoning, and there's only a teaspoon of salt, so you don't have to worry about it being overly salty as well. So I'm just gonna start sprinkling this on top, and make sure that you turn your skillet on now. You can just leave it on medium just so that it will start to heat before we put our butter in there. And again, with the butter, you don't have to add that if you don't want to, because the salmon has its own natural fat. So if you're trying to conserve calories or fat, you don't need to add the butter in. Butter always makes everything taste better, but you don't need that for this step if you're concerned. Just putting this everywhere. It just smells so good. I love it. You may actually have some leftover blackened seasoning, so you can use it for another fish or chicken or shrimp, what have you. Okay, so mine is pretty seasoned, and so I'm just going to show you guys the level of seasoning I put on mine. You guys can see that before it gets all over my laptop. So it's pretty liberally seasoned, I would say.
But Adrienne, you didn't season the skin side?
I just put it on top of the flesh side, but you can actually, I have mine layered in a bowl, so I kind of put the seasoning all through here. So you can actually get some seasoning is on the skin side.
Okay.
But it's up to you. I mean, I like salmon and I like salmon skin because I like fatty meats. So I will be eating the skin on this for sure. So seasoning the skin side is not a bad thing, but it's a preference thing. I think some people don't like the way the skin tastes, so they may not be eating it.
When you put it in the skillet, do you put it skin side up or which side?
So I'm gonna put some butter in the skillet first. Oh, I'm looking down there.
Right.
I'm gonna put some butter in the skillet first, and then I'm going to put the salmon flesh side down, skin side up first. And I know when I've done my videos on my Instagram, I'm like skin side down, skin side up, and then it's backwards. One of my friends is always like, "No, Adrianette, that was backwards." So just so we're clear, it's gonna be flesh side down, skin side up first. And so I'm just going to take a tablespoon of butter. And again, you don't have to use butter if you don't want to. And if you want to put more butter in there, please feel free to do so. But I'm going to go over to the stove. All right. Get this camera here. All right. So I'm going to put this tablespoon of butter here and just let it melt. And I have my pan on medium. We can actually turn this up a little bit. I wanted to heat the pan, but not burn it. Different people say different things about cooking salmon in pan heat. Some people say get the pan as hot. Thank you, Lauren. Some people say get the pan as hot as you can to do it. Some people just say get it put it so it's on high heat. It really just kind of depends because we're going to put this in the oven next. So everyone make sure that your oven is on. I always want to put food in an oven that's been warmed just so that the temperature stays consistent for the cooking process. So we're just going to melt this down here. Butter just smells like the holidays to me. I don't know if anyone else loves the way butter smells like I do, but I just love the way melted butter smells. Okay. All right. So my butter is melted. I'm going to make sure that my flame is on a high, and then I'm going to put my salmon flesh side down, skin side up. Oh, actually, it's not that hot. Let me wait. The ideal temperature for me, or the ideal sound I'm going for when I put my meat in the cast iron skillet when I'm blackening it is I want it to sizzle as soon as it hits. And I just put the salmon in there and it was not hot enough. So I'm going to wait another minute or so and let my pan get hotter. Oh, Marcel, I see your comment. Yes, I love the skin too. Yep, Lauren, you like it too. I feel like there's a lot of flavor in the skin. I don't know. All right, let's see if it's ready now. And Lauren, thank you so much for joining. You know, I remember that cauliflower soup recipe that I made from you, and I was thinking I needed it again. I think you put cauliflower, there was some bread and some white cannellini beans in that soup. It was so good, and I'm thinking about it because it's really cold now. So I need the recipe again.
Okay, I'm going to have to search for it and find it. I'm so happy to be here. You're doing an amazing job.
Oh, thank you. And you're such an amazing cook too. I love watching your videos. Like you and your husband eat so well. I'm like, yes, love it. Love, love, love it.
Thanks.
All right, let me try this again. Let's see here. Is it hot? Okay. I'm just going to start putting it down. It's not as hot as I would like it to be, but that's okay. Just in the interest of time, I'm just going to start cooking this, and I'm going to put my temperature up a little bit more. And I hear a sizzle. It's not like a crazy sizzle yet, but it'll get there.
Do we turn it over or do we?
Oh no,
leave
not
it?
yet. No, I'm just now putting mine down. We are going to turn it over in a bit. If the pan was hotter, and I think I put this in the instructions, I do 2 minutes on each side. Well, 2 minutes on the skin, the flesh side up, flesh side down, skin side up. I'm sorry, and then I put it. I flip it over, and then I let it cook for another 2 minutes, and then I put it in the oven.
All right. Okay, mine is looking good. I think I'm moving a teeny bit faster.
No, that's okay.
I'm following all of your instructions, however.
Yay! Okay. Put this down here. And actually, I'm going to have to cook this in batches, I think, because I bought the biggest piece I could find because I knew I didn't want to be dealing with a whole bunch of meal prep this week. So that's why I made as much as I did. That's why I'm making as much as I am. So I will cook these.
Does it go the same way in the oven?
No, so we're gonna let this cook for about 2 minutes, this side, and then we're gonna flip it over. So the skin side is down, and then with the flesh side up, skin side down, we're gonna bake it in the oven, and that's gonna give us the crispy skin at the bottom, which I love. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm gonna put this down. So right now you should just let it cook. You can hear the sizzle. I can smell the butter, and I'm excited about the smell of butter. I'm just gonna put this down and go wash my hands. I will be right back. I'm gonna put my extra Creole seasoning in a Tupperware. I made some yesterday as well, so put it in my Tupperware. You can save it as long as your hands didn't touch the meat with it or anything like that. You're good to go. Okay, you guys, so this is how my fish is progressing. It's steaming a little bit, not quite ready to be flipped over. And I believe it's probably been more than 2 minutes, but I think if I would have waited a little bit for my pan to get a little bit hotter, we would have been ready to flip it already. But I'm just waiting for a certain sound of sizzle, and it's not quite there yet. So put this here.
So my pieces were really thin, so I've already
Okay.
both sides. Do I put them in the oven now?
Yes, you can. Let's see. Yep, I would. How long did you let it cook on the skin side down?
I would say about 3 minutes on this.
Oh, perfect. Yep. Okay, I would go ahead and put it in the oven then. I have my oven set at 400.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. And after I flip this, we'll let it cook for a minute or two and put it in the oven, and then we'll be on to our yellow cauliflower rice or regular rice, depending on what people are having. Oh, yes. So the side that goes down in the oven is the skin side. It'll be skin side down. Right now it's flesh side down, and I'm going to flip it, and then it'll be skin side down. We're going to let it cook skin side down for a minute or two, and the flesh will be up. And then when we put it in the oven, we're going to keep it in the same position, and it'll be skin side down, flesh side up, and cooking in the oven. And that way the skin, excuse me, will be able to get really, really, really crispy. Let's see if there are any other questions here in the chat. Nope. Okay. And you guys can also see there's a lot of fat in this. I use, excuse me, excuse me, Atlantic salmon, which tends to be a fattier salmon, but because I like the fattiness of it, let me turn my thing down a little bit. Okay. But if you were using like an Atlantic salmon, no, not an Atlantic salmon, an organic salmon, those tend to have less fat. And so you want to cook it less so that it's not overcooked. And the fish will also decrease in size. It kind of shrinks. So I'm going to turn this over momentarily. Put this here. Let's see. Oh no, that's covering up the camera. That's not good. Ah. Can you guys see? I think, oh yeah, you guys can. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. The cayenne pepper is really strong. I don't know if it's strong for you guys, but it's definitely strong for me. I'm going to go ahead and flip these over. You can use tongs or a spatula, however, whatever you have. I'm just going to flip the pieces over so that the skin side is now down. And as you can see, when you start flipping it over, the salmon is it's blackening actually. Oops. So this one, sometimes you actually do have to use a spatula as opposed to the tongs because it won't turn over. Okay. All right. So you can see it's browned at the top. I'm just going to let it cook here for a minute or two. And so the salmon is definitely not done. You can see the top part. You're essentially searing it when you do it like this. So the inside is super rare right now, a little too rare for me to eat it like that, but I'm going to let it cook let the skin get crispy. Then we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, let's see what the chat says. Do I use the same pan in the oven? Yeah, so good question. I'm actually using this grill pan. It's an Emerald pan. It has a metal handle, so I'm going to put this same exact pan into the oven. But if you don't have a pan that's oven safe, I would go ahead and put the salmon into a regular, like any sort of pan that is oven safe. It can be glass, metal, what have you. Oh, okay. So I used Atlantic salmon, and I used that one for this because it's a lot fattier, more calories, but it's a lot fattier, and it cooks better. If you use the organic salmon, you get less calories and it cooks a lot faster. So you have to make sure that you don't overcook it so it's not dry. Let's see. Someone says, can tofu be substituted? Sure. I would say you can always substitute tofu. I've never tried it, but that will probably be super delicious. Just by seasoning it with the Creole seasoning for sure. And then putting I think you'll definitely have to put some oil in a pan to fry the tofu.
I'm trying it right now, and I actually tasted it already, and it is delicious.
With tofu?
Yeah, because I'm actually a vegetarian, but I figured it would be translatable, and it is.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Well, that's good. Thank you. And I think, let's see who had that question. Sabrina. Yeah. So Sabrina, Jessica just answered the question. So that's good. Good. That's good all the way around. Thank you. I don't know about putting the tofu in the oven, but I guess you can. My only concern would be that it wouldn't overcook. So I don't know so much about the times of cooking tofu. I've made it a few times, but I've never made it like this. So maybe Jessica, you can give us guidance on whether, are you going to put your tofu in the oven or no?
No, I just flip it in the pan. Because I like my tofu really crispy, which
Okay.
Folks who are tofu aficionados probably know, like the way restaurants make it extra crispy is you freeze it.
Oh.
That's how you get that crispy edge all around it. But
okay.
Yeah, just flip it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm learning. This is awesome. Oh, Jeffrey says tofu needs to soak in something to give it flavor. Plain tofu is boring.
I'd say the mixture of seasoning you have here is quite a punch. I don't know if it needs any more.
Yeah, no, it's a punch for sure. And that's why I was coughing because, whenever the capsaicin in the cayenne starts to get heated, then it's like, ah. So that's why I was coughing, because cayenne peppers are pretty spicy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. You can see this is cooked down. There's enough fat here in the pan. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven. So let's do a time check at 6:33. So I gave a range for the amount of time for the salmon to cook in the oven. I'm going to let mine go out probably, 10 minutes or so. But if you want your salmon to be a little bit rarer, I would cook it 5 minutes. A lot of people that cook use meat thermometers, and they use that to determine the level of doneness. I don't usually do that. I just do it based on how it looks and sort of my idea, but you're free to do it the best way that works for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the oven now. The oven is super warm. All righty. Okay. So, excuse me. Now we're going to do our fun friend, yellow cauliflower rice. So I'm going to put this here and I'm going to get that going. So put these things away. Where's this? I'm actually going to open the window because the spice is starting to bother me a little bit. Let me bring this in a little bit. Is that? Oh no, it's the wrong. Oh yeah, okay. All right. So, I like using frozen cauliflower. That's rice, just because it's easier. But our guest chef Lorenzo actually riced his own cauliflower earlier today, and I was super impressed. And he gets the gold star. I'm using this. I bought it at the grocery store, Integrity Farms, rice cauliflower. And so the first thing I'm going to do is heat the pan, and actually it's kind of a pot. I think I showed you guys earlier, but I'll show you again. This size here, a little bit smaller than what I used to cook the greens in. gonna put this on medium heat and I'm going to spray it with Pam. Oh, and did everyone already cut does everyone already have their chopped onions ready? Because we do need chopped onions. Marina has chopped onions. Let's see what the chat says. If you have not chopped your onions yet, make sure you chop them. Mine are, I did this earlier. I would say there may be, I don't know, a quarter of an inch or less. Can you guys see the pieces? So there's that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn my pan on, medium heat. Okay, let it get hot, and then I'm going to pan in the pan. Some people like cooking spray, some don't. I'm just gonna use this, just standard pan, just to coat the pan. I'm gonna let this heat up here, and then if you all still have garlic from earlier, make sure you bring it over to this step. I should have told you to make sure you save some for this, but if you didn't, if you need a little bit more time to mince some more garlic, please do that. The recipe called for a 1/4 cup of onion and two, I think, did I put 2 tablespoons? 2 cloves of garlic minced. So just gonna let this heat up a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in my onions and my garlic. Here. Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cook the onion and the garlic down. I'm using this wooden thing. It's not really a spoon, but it's not really a spatula. It was gifted to me recently, and I really like it because it's heavy and it gets the job done. And I think I said this at the beginning of the class, but if you're using cauliflower rice, I would only add, whenever we get to the next step, which is the seasonings, I would only add 1 teaspoon of turmeric, unless you really, really love turmeric. I found it to be a little bit strong with the 2 teaspoons, but if you're using rice, then you definitely want to use 2 teaspoons of turmeric or saffron, depending. I'm using turmeric this evening instead of saffron. Okay, so now my onions. So generally, whenever you cook onions down, at least for this recipe, you want them to be translucent. They're starting to get a little bit translucent now. They're not quite there yet, but I think I had my heat on higher probably than I needed to, and they're cooking a little bit faster than anticipated. So I'm going to go in and get my seasonings and add them to this. So I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of onion powder. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. So let's do these one at a time. Here, let me just put this here. we have our onion powder. And I also really love onions. That's why you have double onions. You see onion powder plus onions. Going to add in the chicken bouillon. A teaspoon of that. And then, because I'm doing the cauliflower, I'm just going to do 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Okay. So now I'm just going to mix these up here. And you'll see it's kind of turning into a bit of a paste just with the turmeric and the onions and the garlic sweating out. And that's okay. When you add in your cauliflower rice or your rice, it will, the paste will dissipate or dissolve rather. Uh-oh. How's everyone's sweating out of vegetables going? I'm gonna go ahead now and add in my cauliflower rice. And I really love frozen cauliflower rice just because it's easy. When you rice your own cauliflower, it takes a long time. So I'm gonna add my cauliflower rice in now. Play. All right, so now we have frozen cauliflower on top, and you have the onion, turmeric, garlic paste seasoning blend at the bottom. And I'm just going to use this thing. This is what it looks like, but you can use a wooden spoon, spatula, and I have the heat on, I guess it's a medium high now. And I'm just going to kind of start to pound the frozen cauliflower to break up the chunks. If you like your salmon on the more rare side, this would be a good time to check it to see if it's done to your desired, I guess, taste consistency profile, if that's a thing. If it's not a thing, I just made that up. So once it gets to where it's not so congealed and it's a little bit looser, you can really just keep pounding it down. And then I'm going to start mixing up the paste, which is at the bottom, with the actual cauliflower. And yellow rice, I didn't give much history about that, but yellow rice is something eaten in a lot of soul food dishes. They eat it a lot in Louisiana. And also, if anyone has had paella, which is a Spanish dish, they put a lot of, they use saffron to make their paella yellow. So turmeric or saffron were the things that I included in the recipe to make them yellow. They have very different flavors though, but they both will give you the yellow sort of coloring. Trader Joe's actually has, saffron tends to be a little bit pricey, but Trader Joe's has really great prices on their saffron threads. They actually the best prices on saffron that I've seen thus far. And so now that the cauliflower is heated up a little bit more, I'm just going to mix this around. Mine is still really, really frozen. But the point here now is just to coat it. So all of the cauliflower is has the turmeric, onions, and the seasoning mixture on it. I'm going to let that relax. I'm going to give you guys a view into what my oven is looking like right now. So you can hear it. It's still not quite done enough for me. I'm going to keep letting it cook down a little bit more. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I will take that as a no. That's good.
Actually, I do. Sorry, it just took me a minute to try to unmute myself.
It's okay.
The cauliflower part, I'm doing it just fine, but I just took a little taste of my salmon because I pulled it out of the oven and I
Okay.
put way too much cayenne pepper because it's like, oh my God.
Oh,
So
no.
what can I do to, will it sort of diffuse when we put lemon on it?
So it could. The only way that I know right now to balance out heat is with dairy. So I would wait until we put the lemon on it at the end. But it may not, when you eat it with everything else, it may not be as spicy. But if it's super spicy, I would just eat it in small amounts and then have a glass of milk or some yogurt right next to you so that you don't feel a burn.
Actually, that's a really good idea. I could put a little yogurt or maybe even sour cream on the side and just
Yes.
eat it as I go. It's delicious.
Yes,
It's delicious, but it made my eyes water. So let's put it that way.
Oh no. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, not you. It was me. I literally coated it. I used every drop of the seasoning. And then after you said, well, you should have some leftover, I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I probably should have been a little bit more clear at the beginning.
It's fine.
I know whenever I was cooking my salmon, I started to cough a little bit because the capsaicin in the cayenne was being released, and the capsaicin is what makes things spicy and makes you cough if there's too much there. Okay, so this is what my yellow rice looks like. It's still not quite done. And the directions for most frozen cauliflower rices always say to add water. I don't add water to mine because I don't care for watery rice. And as you can see now, it's pretty wet enough and it's still not even done cooking. So you don't have to add water to it unless you really, really want to. Is everyone making cauliflower rice or is anybody actually making regular rice? Let's see. Nancy Smith. Let's see what Nancy says. Oh, it was perfect after scraping it off. Okay, thank you. Good to know.
Regular rice, I guess, consistent with my history on this Zoom of deviating slightly from the recipe.
No, that's good. Regular rice is good. So again, with the regular rice, you want to make sure that you use the 2 teaspoons of turmeric because white rice will take on is able to take a lot more flavor than cauliflower rice. Let's see. Deborah sent a note also. Let's see what she says. Thank you for coming, Deborah. I hope you
Thank you. It's so wonderful. Remember, I told you I have my church class tonight, but this was so great. The food is tasty. I can't wait to eat.
Yay. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to have to join you on the Bible study call next time too.
Yes. Nice meeting those of you who I don't know yet. We have to do it again.
Yay. Thank you so much for coming, Deborah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So I don't know. Can everyone see the texture of what this cauliflower rice looks like thus far? Because I'm still cooking mine a little bit more. It's kind of mushy. I want it to be nice and fluffy, so I'm going to keep cooking it. I hear my salmon in the oven and it's sizzling. This is what it looks like now. I'm probably going to let it cook maybe 1 more minute and then I will bring it out and do the lemon thing. But this is sort of where we're at with the process. It's probably technically done now, though. If people want something that's not that is a little bit more rare on the inside. It really just depends on what you like. Okay. All right. So again, once your rice is done, you can add in butter if you prefer. You don't have to add in the butter to it. I'm going to skip the butter on this one because the salmon is going to be fatty enough for me and my macros for today. Oh, thank you, Nancy. So I'm going to skip that. But again, if you want to add a little bit of fat to this, add a teaspoon of butter to it. I like the way this is looking now, so I'm actually going to turn this off momentarily. Another thing is, you guys saw me stir this cauliflower rice often. I do that because, and I don't put the lid on it until I'm done cooking it, because if not, if you put the lid on it, the steam will be, I guess, absorbed or come back down. I'm not a scientist, into the cauliflower, and then it'll be watery. And again, I don't prefer watery cauliflower rice. So just kind of leave the top off, stir it, keep stirring it. And now it's done enough for me. It has more of a fluffy sort of consistency, at least in my mind. At least I'm telling myself that it's fluffy, like rice, but with only a fraction of the calories. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. And now I'm going to put the lid on it, but I'm gonna leave the lid partially. Oh yes, it is good for diabetics. That's true. I'm going to leave a lid on just so it's covered and steam can escape so that it's not watering. All right, let's see. Oh, brown rice mixed with mushrooms. Oh, okay, that sounds delicious. I love mushrooms and I love brown rice. Okay, good. Okay, everyone. So thank you for showing us. I'm going to take mine out because I'm ready. I think the way it smells, the way the sizzle sounds, I'm ready. And we don't have that much time left. We only have 7 minutes left, if you guys can believe it. I'm gonna take this out, turn it off. And this is where we're going to add in our lemon juice. So this is what mine looks like here. It's definitely blackened. It's crisp. Jessica, can you show us the tofu? Just so we can get a view of that.
I will try. So this is the tofu. I actually dished it up and put my greens and my rice in. I'm ready to eat.
Okay. I don't see it. You went away. I saw you earlier and then I didn't see it.
I can see myself.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Oh, yum. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Great. It tastes great.
And you actually blackened it too. So you got the color. Awesome. Okay. So we have the salmon here. I'm going to put the phone down and then I'm going to start. Actually, I can bring the phone. So I use this lemon squeezer, lemon juicer thing here. You don't have to use this. You can do it with your finger, with your fork. But I'm actually going to use, I have a half of a lemon that I cut. So I'm going to cut this down into a fourth so that it'll fit into my lemon squeezer, because this one's kind of small. So I'm going to cut this lemon in half. Let's see. Now I have 2 pieces. I'm going to go back over to the oven. Jessica, you may want to add some lemon juice to the tofu. I wonder how that would taste. That might be really good too.
I bet it would be, but I didn't get any lemons. I only have limes.
Oh, okay. I think lemons and limes, they're very different, but sometimes I use them interchangeably.
Okay, I'll
I'm
try
just putting the lemon. Yeah, it might be good just to add a little bit of citrus. And I'm just putting the lemon juice on top. One piece. And then the other pieces in here. All righty.
Adri, we gotta go, but it's been wonderful.
Yay, thank you so much for coming. Miss you,
Bye.
love
Do you want to
you.
see the finished
Bye.
product?
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
It looks amazing.
Oh, look at that. Can you send a picture, like a little, can you take a photo for me?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yay. Yay. Thank you. Tell Pastor
Bye.
good night.
It's time to eat.
Bye, everybody. All right, you guys. So thanks for coming, Marina. So I'm going to, I think in my directions, I said to cover this so the heat will, yep, okay. Remove from oven, cover immediately to let rest. So I have foil from earlier. I'm just gonna let this hang out on top just to cover it. You don't have to do this step. I always like to whenever I make meats like this, just so that, especially since I cooked it for a long time, just so that we don't have to deal with dryness. There's a lot of fat in Atlantic salmon, so it shouldn't be dry, but just in case, just so it'll be juicy. So we can get the most bang for our buck. That's all. Let's see here. Does anyone have any other questions? Because we have 3 more minutes left in our class.
I can't wait to see the skin side on the salmon.
Cauliflower
yes.
rice is delicious.
Really? Yay!
Oh my God, it's so good. I want to see if I can show you.
Yeah, show me, please. Oh, yum. The texture looks really good too. I like that. That looks great.
You know what? I took the bag out right when we started, so it wasn't quite as frozen. And you know, I make cauliflower rice a lot, but I never thought about not adding water. I always add water, and it takes a long time to reduce it. And this was so any water, and the ice, I guess the coldness of from the freezer was perfect. So that's like such a huge tip for me because I do it all. I make cauliflower fried rice and it takes forever.
Oh, yum.
So now I'm gonna skip the water completely. So it's very exciting.
Awesome.
I can't wait to eat.
Yay. That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna plate this just so we can get a sample plate. So I'm gonna put you guys here and we will be ready to eat dinner because it's already almost 7. I can't believe the time passed so fast. Jeez, where did this time go? This was really fun, you guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining as well. If you guys can actually take a picture of your plate and send it to me, that would be awesome. I would love to see everyone's food. So I'm just adding some cauliflower rice, and then I will add the Brazilian greens to the plate, and then I will add the salmon. I can't believe the time went so fast. That's crazy how fast it went. Let's see. Spatula. Here we go. Here's another one.
Adrienne, I added your email into the chat, so anybody that
Yay!
wants you a picture can do so.
Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys. So here's my finished product. We have the Brazilian greens, the couve, the yellow rice or yellow cauliflower rice, and the salmon. And it looks good. And now I'm really, really hungry.
Looks great, Adrianetta. Congratulations.
Yay! Thank you guys so much for coming.